Welcome back, everybody, to another short video of What's Going On, or WGO if you're pressed for time. I am, of course, your host, Jacob Carlson, and today in this short video, I'm going to be talking about, of course, the Cable News Network, or as it's more commonly referred to as CNN. Now, why in this particular case would I talk about CNN when I can easily talk about anything else? Well, for the record, I do talk about anything else, but in this particular video, I want to tell you why I watch CNN. For the reasons that you're already speculating I do, but I really don't. First off, I stumbled upon CNN back in 2019 when we first got cable TV up and running for the first time in over 10 years, as I previously said in another video. And CNN had a documentary on, and I had no idea they even did documentaries. It was about the decades, about the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, and so on and so forth. And they were talking about the world events that have been happening the past 40 plus years now, and I got to tell you, I learned a lot from that by myself. Because there's one thing you need to know about me, as I've previously said in other videos as well, is that I'm a sucker for current events, for early contemporary history. I like learning about past news reports, the early first drafts of living history in the making, and I like how people go out into the world and report on things in the first place, just like the Weather Channel or even National Geographic for that matter. Those same reasons, I still watch CNN, but again, not for the reasons you may think. The reason that I do watch CNN is their documentaries, because since then, for the past few years now, I've been watching CNN documentaries as well as others from other sources as well. So don't get it twisted. CNN's not the only source of information I get things from, and by the way, they're not the first source of information I get my news from. So there are others, and I will explain that in a future video sometime in the near future. So stay tuned for that. But as for CNN by themselves, what I was able to find out in my own personal research about them, CNN first got started back in the 1980s, back in the year 1980, when its founder, Ted Turner, made what I personally believe is one of the boldest promises anybody can make, especially in the mainstream media. That barring satellite problems in the near future, we won't be signing off until the world comes to an end. And to me, that was a pretty big, bold promise, especially back then. And also, especially when you're trying a brand new thing called 24-hour news. And the only reason I would know that is also because there was a movie I watched years before I had cable to watch for the first time in forever. I I would watch this movie, which was the sequel to Anchorman. Anchorman: The Legend Continues, starring Will Ferrell, Steve Carell, and others. And it was basically a parody of CNN's origin story about how they got started back in the 1980s as the first 24-hour news network. And they were going through the whole kit and caboodle of what people in the media consider to be news for people to watch and enjoy. So that's it on that. And that kind of prepared me mentally for what I was going to expect to see on CNN. For over 40 years, they've been covering almost anything you can think of since 1980, all the way to the present day of 2023. So basically, yeah. As for reporters and anchors, I've made two exceptions. The first one being Fareed Zakaria on Sundays, where he hosts a show called Global Public Square, or GPS, and I like what he has to say on the events of the day. And also, before he got canned by CNN a few years ago, I find myself listening also to Chris Cuomo. Okay, for my own personal reasons, you don't have to listen to them. You don't have to watch CNN if you don't want to, but here I am explaining why I do. So there you are. And also, another reason that I watch CNN is because they also have an awards show. for those of you wondering, a propane truck just went by. So there you go there. So what was I saying? Okay. CNN, believe it or not, has an award show called CNN Heroes, where unlike other award shows where they award actors and actresses and athletes and whatnot, they reward men, women, and children who do good things in this world for their fellow human beings all around the world. And I appreciate CNN for doing that. They do this every year, and it's called CNN Heroes. So there you go on that. I appreciate that even in the mainstream media, they can talk about good things too. So I got to give it to them on that. They're not always perfect, but I do give them a for effort for doing things differently here. And of course, one last reason is of course Larry King. Okay, he's one of my personal heroes recently because even though he just passed away, he made history on CNN by being the longest running news show, Larry King Live, hosted by Larry King on CNN from 1985 all the way to 2010. And one regret in my life is that because he passed away in 2021, I would never have an opportunity to meet the man in person. I liked how he interviewed people over the years, watching his clips of his famous interviews, and so on and so forth. And those are the reasons I watch CNN. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to. And with that being said, my name is Jacob Carlson. This has been a news update to what's going on. And as always, I'd ask you to please like the video, comment something you like or don't like, obviously. Press the red subscribe button, press the notification bell. And as always, I will see you in the next couple of videos. Okay, take care now. Be nice to each other. Bye-bye.